This meeting is being recorded.
Go ahead.
Okay. You want me to put it this way or
Yeah, it is better. It is better. Go ahead.
better?
Yeah.
Is it in middle? Um, so I'm Santosh. I'm an AI engineer with around 5 years of experience, and I have good experience in building machine learning and Gen AI solutions, like particularly in finance domain. And recently, I'm mainly focusing on LLM powered applications, RAG, agentic AI systems, and all. And in my previous role, I worked at HubSync. Actually, HubSync is it's a fast-paced startup environment, like where engineers are expected to work on multiple projects and move quickly from idea to production and all. So in HubSync, I worked on few projects. Like one is RAG, and another one is agentic AI tax assistant. So this tax assistant, it will help tax professionals and CPA firms to navigate quickly from any queries they had. So this assistant, like we used LangGraph and LangChain, and we used Claude on AWS Bedrock, and I designed the integrated enterprise data. I designed all the data ingestion pipelines through all sources which we have, and we even connected MCP tool to the agentic
Wow.
tax assistant.
Great.
Yeah, actually, it's a startup, so we worked on lot of projects, and everything moved very quickly. Rather than like large scale enterprises. So prior to that, like I worked on Intuit. In Intuit, I worked as ML engineer and mainly on Gen AI initiatives. Here,
Wow.
I have built RAG-based applications which enables semantic search across IRS documentations and tax knowledge repositories and all. And I worked very much in the area of hybrid retrieval, and also few parts of prompt engineering, like model evaluation and all of that. And earlier in my career, like I worked with Blinkit. Actually, that is also a startup. So here I have built recommendation systems like and search relevance models, real-time machine learning APIs and all. So this Blinkit, like it's a grocery app, like quick grocery app, and it serves almost like million users. And I mean, yeah, that's all about my career.
Okay. Okay. So can you walk me through your transition from data scientist to AI ML engineering and all?
Yeah, sure. Actually, I joined Blinkit as data scientist, and here I mainly focused on solving business problems using machine learning. I worked on recommendation systems like this recommendation system will use user data behavior and their patterns and everything, and also it checks real time inference APIs, everything like which is required for the application. So while building these solutions, like I realized that creating models was only one part of the problem, and the bigger challenge is integrating those models into production systems. So building APIs and all the stuff. So actually that naturally pushed me more into engineering focused mindset. So I started spending more time building machine learning models and all. So after that, like when I joined Intuit as machine learning engineer, I started working on RAG. So that's my starting point to AI. I'm an AI engineer. So there, when I worked with RAG, I learned everything about retrieval, embeddings, and basic foundation of AI concepts and all. So that's where I turned into a machine learning engineer, into a complete AI engineer, and then with that knowledge, I joined HubSync. So in HubSync, as it is, fast-paced startup. So we worked on everything. Like we even worked on Langsmith also, like for observability and all. Like that's the last project which we worked on. And in HubSync, like we after finishing agentic AI tax assistant project, so I got everything, like everything which AI engineer needs. So That's how, I mean, that's my last role.
Okay. Okay. Excellent. How would you differentiate in between uh, basically supervised and unsupervised learning?
Yeah, actually, supervised learning, it will just it will have a default output, and it will it will have a default output, and it will just have from historical data, and along with all the correctness, like and all. But in unsupervised learning, like we will have only data, and we are trying to like discover patterns on our own, and we need
Mm-hmm.
to feed on
Unlabeled
that.
data, basically.
Yeah, unlabeled, like, I mean, so there will
I
be
got
no
it.
predefined
When you said
labels.
only data, so I got it. Only data means basically unstructured, and okay, I got it.
Yeah.
How would you define the overfitting?
Overfitting, actually, in some patterns, when model learns from the training data, like
Mm-hmm.
if it learns too well, and it will also include some noise and some random patterns also, so that's overfitting. And instead of, what it does is, like, instead of learning actual relationship, like it will perform very well on the training data, like and it will be trained poorly on new and unseen data. Like
Okay.
for example, like when I was working on prediction models, like at Blinkit,
Mm-hmm.
here the goal was not to get the highest accuracy on the training data set. Like
Mm-hmm.
here the goal was to build some model, like which will generalize well to future customer behavior. So
Okay.
if a model will memorize historical transactions, like instead of learning some patterns, like it might show 98% accuracy like during training, but it will perform worse in production. So that's a
Okay.
classic sign
Okay.
of
So how will
overfitting.
you prevent it?
So to prevent it, like we will train on multiple patterns, and also we have some validation metrics also, like if training
Mm-hmm.
accuracy is very high, like, but validation accuracy drops significantly, like I mean, that's a strong indicator for overfitting. So to avoid this, like we can just use cross validations or feature selections, and we can do a regularization also. So
Mm-hmm.
uh,
Okay. Uh, how would you define, or maybe if you can explain precision, recall, and F1 score?
yeah, actually, these metrics, like we actually use them for any machine learning models. So these are mainly for classification problems, like
Mm-hmm.
especially for when the classes are imbalanced, or I mean, anything in that way. So accuracy, like I mean, can sometimes be misleading. So all these metrics will help us to understand model performance and everything more effectively. Coming to precision, like I mean, it's simple definition for precision is like, out of all the cases the model predicted as positive, and how
Okay.
many are actually positive. It will have
Very
some
nice.
formula. Yeah. And for example, like in fraud detection mainly, when I worked in Blinkit, so actually, if the model flags 100 transactions as fraudulent transactions and only 80 are actually fraud, then the precision is 80%. And
Mm-hmm.
if it is having high precision, like it will have fewer false alarms, I can say. And coming to recall, actually recall of this simple definition is like, out of all the actual positive cases, like how many did the model successfully identify? So using the same fraud example, I can say like, if there are actually 100 fraudulent transactions and the model detected 90 of them, then the recall is 90%. And high recall means like we are missing very less fraud cases. And F1 score, like in many real world problems, like we just need a balance between precision and recall, right? So F1 score is, we can call it as mean of the two, and it will provide any uh, single metric, like which will consider both of them.
Okay. Uh, how can you explain a bias variance trade-off?
Biased va-
Bias variance trade-off.
okay, biased variance.
Okay.
Yeah, biased variance trade-off. Like,
Mm-hmm.
um, actually, it's something like balance between making a model too simple and also making it too complex. Like you can say like that. And with this, the goal is to build some model like which will learn the patterns in the patterns in the data, like without memorizing the noise, so it will just eliminate it. So this bias will occur when the model is too simple, and it will fail to capture the actual relationship in the data. So actually this will lead to underfitting, like which we discussed earlier. And here the model will perform poorly on both the training and also on the test data, like because it has no enough data.
Okay.
Yeah. uh, and the trade-off is like, I mean, the challenge is like finding the right balance between them,
Mm-hmm.
and I mean in bias and variance. So as we reduce bias, uh, the model will become more complex, and like variance also increases. And as we reduce variance by simplifying the model, like bias may increase. So
Okay.
it's
Okay.
like
Got it.
high
Yeah. Got
bias,
it.
it
How
has
have you ever implemented any ML algorithm?
ML algorithm.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, actually, I implemented that in Blinkit and Intuit and all of them.
Mm-hmm. So can you mention few?
Yeah, actually, in Blinkit, I worked on as it's a starting point of my career. Like I worked on some traditional machine learning algorithms. So for example, like when working on payment success prediction, like I built classification models. For this, I have used XGBoost, and here we had
Wow.
historical transaction data, and we had user behavior features, and also device metadata, everything. So we fed everything into XGBoost model,
Mm-hmm.
and this worked well because it handled both structured data,
No,
and
very
also
nice.
it
Very nice.
captured
So how would
some
you
non.
validate these models performance?
Yeah, because based on the metrics
What are the
which
metrics
we
that
discussed
you
earlier,
can
like
you know? Can you name
yeah
few
for
metrics that you will use to validate?
yeah, actually to validate this, like first for let's take this XG boost. So we evaluate like multiple models, and we select XGBoost. So here for XGBoost, like we just focus on accuracy, precision, recall, and all of them,
Mm-hmm.
which we discussed earlier. Like I'll tell you an example. Like in the payment success prediction model, like which we used, here accuracy alone is not sufficient, because the cost of miscalculation is very important, and we paid very much close attention to precision and recall also, like to understand false positives and false negatives. And so here F1 score helped us to balance both of them, and I mean get some valid metrics.
Okay. Okay. How do you? I see in Blinkit you started your career as a data scientist. So, being a data scientist, what was your application that you were working on, and what was your roles and responsibilities? Can you just walk me through?
Yeah, sure. Actually, there are my job as a data scientist starts after all the data comes into our system, like
Mm-hmm.
from different sources. So here, mainly, I worked on search, recommendations, and transaction intelligence, and all of that. So actually, Blinkit operates in very much competitive quick commerce environment. So here, I mean, business focus was on improving customer experience, and also to increase conversions and everything. So one of the key projects which I worked as a data scientist was like improving search relevance. So here, the challenge was that the customers often search using different terms, like different abbreviations, and sometimes a few incomplete product names and all. So this will result into uh, like semi results, like semi search results. So here what we did is like we build machine learning models which will better understand user intent, and which will rank the products more effectively. And we used TF-IDF and word2vec, and like we used clickstream analytics, everything to I mean in the entire life cycle, like including data analysis, feature engineering, and everything. And this is one of the project. And another project is building recommendation systems. Actually, this is to personalize product suggestions mainly. So here also, I worked almost on same concepts like training data sets, feature engineering, model development, and all of that. Yeah,
Okay. Okay.
this is.
So, when it comes to ML models, how do you deploy an ML models in production?
Yeah, actually, mainly in my last project in HubSync, we used AWS, but in my early in my career, like in Blinkit, like we typically if it's a deploy it as a series of stages, like instead of just model training. So what we do is first we collect and prepare the data, and next we perform feature engineering, and next we just to train multiple models and evaluate them using all the metrics. And once we select the best performing model, like we version it using tools like MLflow, and we package it for deployment. And after the model is finalized, like we expose it through API layer. And
Mm-hmm.
in my projects in Blinkit, like we have used fast API only, just for the endpoints. And the application's endpoints is it will map to API, and the model performs inference, and the prediction is written in real time. So we containerize everything in Docker, and we deploy it to like any cloud environment. In Blinkit, we used Azure.
Okay. 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 What is ML ops?
MLOps, it's machine learning operations.
Mm-hmm.
So
So why do we
so
use
it's like.
ML ops? What is the reason of using or purpose of using ML operations?
Yeah, okay. Actually, it's something like a practice of applying all these software engineering and DevOps principles into ML systems. Here, mainly the goal is to make these ML models more scalable. That's the
Mm-hmm.
main thing, and yeah,
Can you
that's
name
what
can you
we
name
use
few
for
tools?
uh, tools. Uh, we mainly use ML Flow,
Okay.
uh,
Okay.
ML
Yeah.
Flow and
Good.
all.
Good. Okay. So have you built ML pipelines also?
Yeah, actually, I did not own it end to end, but yeah, I built a few ML pipelines.
Okay. Okay. Uh, can you just walk me through your last project, basically last LLM project where you have worked end to end?
Yeah, okay. Actually, the last project which I worked on was agentic tax assistant in
Okay.
HubSync.
Okay.
There, this tax assistant is for tax professionals and CPA firms.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, it's not. It's like a chatbot, but it's more than a chatbot, because for that chatbot we integrated different tools. Like we integrated MCP tool, which I mean, that is different service. Like that was developed prior to this, and we just use that service. And we also have rack service, which we developed end to end. And I mean, for this agentic tax assistant, I was involved from initial design to the deployment. And the first step was understanding the data sources, and designing the retrieval architecture, and designing the whole LangGraph architecture and all. So this one, I have built using Cloud on AWS Bedrock, because HubSync is already well settled with the AWS architecture. So we just used Cloud on AWS Bedrock, and we used PostgreSQL with PG Vector for vector embeddings. And this tax assistant, like it will have RAG tool, MCP tool, and also it will have some persistent knowledge across different conversations. Using for this we used LangGraph. And this application, I mean, this assistant works like, I mean, whenever user is navigating through HubSync platform, like it will be it will be an helping assistant, like just beside the UI. I mean, just beside the main platform. So it will take current content, like if in HubSync, like there will be different workflows. So when whatever workflow user is using, like it will take the same context, and also user can provide additional documents, or they can ask any questions, like any questions to access different workflows also. I mean, different workflows. So this will have different, I mean, multi-step workflow, and all. It will have uh, it will have like different tools. So I mean, for this whole assistant, like we just exposed it to fast API service, and we contained is using Docker, and it was deployed on AWS. So yeah, this was the main tax assistant, like which we developed.
Okay, so I see you have worked with. I see you have worked with multi agents also, or not.
Multi agents, like no.
That's fine.
I mean, multi
That's
agents
fine.
in the sense, like what are you referring to? Like just uh, that multi agent architecture, or
Have you designed or built any multi agents? Make sense?
uh, yeah, yeah. Actually, I did not work
It is not
well.
part of this requirement. I'm sorry, but
Yeah,
okay, I
yes,
will take it offline. Just forget it.
yeah.
So, how do you perform fine tuning, or what is the reason of performing fine tuning?
Yeah, fine tuning. So once we do the fine tuning, like I mean, the model completely, it will be trained on our data. So here, foundation models like GPT, Claude, or Llama, like are trained on they are trained on broad internet scale data sets. So they have some general knowledge, and they may not understand what our organization, like have our data, like there's our specific terminology or our products and all. So the main reason is to improve task specific performance. For example, if in a banking environment, you may not, I mean, you may want the model to understand internal terminology, and also you may want to understand, you may want the model to understand complaints language and customer service workflows and all of that. So for that purpose, like we specifically fine tune our model.
Okay, okay, okay. Very nice. So, why do okay? So, if I say fine tuning versus RAG, which one you think will be better?
Actually, I can say there will be different use cases for, I mean, different situations and different scenarios for selecting both of them. I mean, it depends on the problem which we are trying to solve. Because RAG, you can say it was primarily used when the model needs access to any external or any frequently changing information. I can say if it is frequently changing information, we may need RAG, because every time the documents will be embedded, chunked, and stored in the vector database, and uh, it will be useful in that case. Mainly, we will use it for chatbots, and actually, fine tuning is useful like when you want the model to learn a specific behavior, or you want model to learn a specific tone or reasoning pattern, anything like that. So if you want to consume all the domain expertise into the model, we choose fine tuning.
Okay, okay, okay. Very nice. How is your experience with vector database? What have you done so far?
Yeah, actually, vector databases, in I just used PG Vector with PostgreSQL in HubSync,
Okay.
because like HubSync's whole data is already in PostgreSQL, and they hosted this PostgreSQL as their primary database. So
Mm-hmm.
if we want to use PG Vector, like it's just an extension to the Postgres. So we just selected PG Vector over there.
Okay, okay, very nice. So, Santosh, I think that's all I wanted to ask, and we are good. I have multiple positions, so Probably that's why I was trying to find out your other multi-agents experience. So
Oh,
bank has a lot of positions that is oriented on Python, AI, ML, agentic AI, Gen AI. So there are multiple things. So let me just quickly
okay.
stop and we'll continue.